Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year! Welcome back to the 75th
Say it
episode
one more time.
of
Say it one more time.
Happy New Year.
That's the right way to say it, people. It's not New Year's.
New Year.
It is one New Year.
It is a singular New Year.
It is a singular New Year.
Yes, it is the New Year. But welcome back to the Triboro Podcast. It's been quite a while, obviously. Holidays.
It's been a year.
Holidayed.
Haven't talked to you since last year.
Been a year. It's been a whole year. So, a little bit of a catch-up episode with some updates, of course. But, yeah. Before we get started, Justin, how was your holidays?
Cocomelon. No, they were
Justin
good.
Alonso, ladies and gentlemen.
They were good. How were yours, Mr. O'Brien, since you're asking?
Mine were good. I had a good Christmas. I had a solid New Year. I'm content.
Content.
But what I'm not content with is that Pete Alonso is still on the fucking free agency market. But we'll get into that, of course. So, first and foremost, to play some catch-up, it's been like 2 weeks since this happened. 3 weeks since this happened. But Sean Manaea re-signed with the New York Mets. The day after we recorded last episode.
Yeah.
Yay! At 2 in the morning. For whatever reason. But, hey. That's neither here nor there. Sean Manaea re-signed for 3 years, $75 million. In that deal, there's $23 million deferred for 10 years, which brings the deal closer to kind of like a 3-year, $66 million deal. So about $22 million per year when you factor in deferrals and all that good stuff. But this is a very team-friendly deal, I would say. Manaea, with all the deferrals, takes a much lesser contract than I'm sure he could have gotten. And he also only got 3 years, which I found very surprising. Obviously, the pitching market has been a little bit inflated, I guess I would say. 45-year-old Charlie Morton is getting $15 million from the Baltimore Orioles. And I thought Manaea could have gotten a lot more. I thought he definitely could have reached that 4-year, $100 million mark. But I will gladly take this 3-year, $75. And if you excuse me, I must blow my nose.
Just while you are blowing your nose, the pitching market really is wild when you think about it. The top end isn't that crazy, but I feel like the floor for pitchers is so much crazier just in general. Because you look at a lot of guys like Severino, Manaea, Charlie Morton, Walker Buehler, who just had a god-awful year. One of the worst years in baseball last year, getting $21 million. I feel like the top end still gets their money, but the bottom end is just so high right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. It's been like that kind of like mid-tier. That's been mid-tier and below. It's kind of been a little inflated.
Yeah.
But I think the Mets get Manaea back on what I would consider their price. And look at this is a really good deal. I think were there better pitchers on the market than Sean Manaea? Probably. Is he going to have the same year as last year? Probably not. I remember talking when free agency began, I'm a little concerned about health because of the arm angle. Obviously, he was copying Chris Sale, and I think, Justin, you said it. Chris Sale is not the embodiment of health whatsoever.
Granted, a lot of Chris Sale injuries were they weren't only his arm.
Yeah.
They were slipping in the bathtub, I think one was riding a bike.
Something like that, yeah. But I think, Manaea is a bigger man than Sale. I think he's a little more filled out, so hopefully there isn't too much concern there. Obviously, I'm sure that's something the Mets looked at. Because when you change your mechanics, you change everything else, Your body responds in different ways, things of that nature. The pitch mix, everything like that. But I'm pretty excited to see a full year of Manaea with the new arm angle, assuming he keeps it, because there's a solid chance he just doesn't. But he had success with that, so excited to see a full year of sidearm Manaea. So, real quick, we'll go over his 2024, in which was just absolutely spectacular. 32 games started, 181.2 innings pitched, a 3.47 ERA with a 3.83 FIP, and then here's where it gets really good with that arm angle change. From July 25th onwards, he started 12 games, 75 innings, a 3.09 ERA, a 3.35 FIP, at the 10th highest WAR. He was 21st in ERA, 14th in K per 9, and 19th in K rate minus walk rate. So from that point onwards, he was one of the best pitchers in the league, and he had a spectacular postseason. Obviously, it ended a little sourly, but I think he just hit his limit there, because including postseason, he threw over 200 innings, which I don't think he's done. I'm pretty sure he has not done
I
ever.
could check that for you. And even if he hasn't, we talked about it, how he just, the last couple of years, has not been pitching much.
Right.
He's pitched a lot more than I thought recently. Going back to 2019, 29 innings, 54 innings, 179, 158, 117, 181. So in the regular season itself, he's had a career high in innings.
Right. So that's pretty big. Obviously, that's another, I don't want to call it concern, but something to take into account. Because he threw so many innings, and because of the postseason, he threw for a lot longer than the normal season. See how his body responds to that over the offseason and into spring training.
Second time since 2019, he had a sub-4 ERA.
Not great, but good, obviously.
The years he pitches the most, he has the lowest ERA, though. Interesting, but...
So he just has to pitch more. That's what I'm hearing. Just keep pitching.
Yeah.
But, as of right now, for all intents and purposes, I believe this Mets rotation is done. Is finished. Finito. So as it stands, we got Sean Manaea, Kodai Senga, Frankie Montas, David Peterson, Clay Holmes. And it sounds like they want to do a 6-man rotation. Music to my ears. So for that 6th spot, you got tons of options. Paul Blackburn, Tyler McGill, Griffin Canning, Brandon Sproat, probably wouldn't be coming until much later into the season. Blade Tidwell, Dom Hamill. Those 3 probably are future call-up options. Maybe, a June call-up, something like that. And then, of course, we'll see how the Roki Sasaki things go. Because we are nearing a decision. I think he only has about...
I saw January 20th.
2 weeks and then some.
January 20th,
yeah,
23rd.
Yeah, around that range. It's definitely that week. The week of the 20th, he has to decide. But we'll probably get more information on next week, on January 15th, when the new international...
You're cutting out.
Sorry about that. But we'll probably get more information when the new international free agency pool opens, which is January 15th. So then we'll get a better idea of who's spending the money, who's, walking back on some of the verbal agreements they had with these international players. And then, obviously, once that's over, you can trade for more international pool money. So once everyone makes their agreements and all that, you'll probably start seeing some transactions for some more money. I wouldn't be shocked there. But I'm sure the Mets and Yankees are going to be all over that once that begins.
Yeah.
So before we move on, anything on Sean Manaea, Justin? Like the deal, hate the deal?
I feel like you needed to bring him back. For the Mets, you weren't going to get a Burns. You weren't going to get someone like that. You needed to bring back one of Severino or Manaea. I like Manaea more, and it's, $3 million more a year with a lot of deferrals, so you may even be paying him less per year. Yeah. So I think that was a great deal. You had to bring Manaea back. It was just from a pure vibe standpoint. If you're gonna, you can't lose him and Iglesias.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, going into the off season, I always thought, like, I had a gut feeling one of Severino Manaea was going to come back, no matter what. And you go back and look at Manaea's post-game interviews once the Mets got eliminated, and it just seemed he was going to come back no matter what. Like, I don't think I've ever been that sure that a player was coming back. And Sean Manaea, he seemed to really enjoy his time here. Obviously, he had a lot of success with the pitching coaches and the team, so I think it just made all the sense in the world for both sides to come together in holy matrimony and sign a contract. Aww. Another person who makes a ton of sense to come together in holy matrimony, sign a contract, is Pete Alonso, who is still a free agent. Oh my god. I really have nothing to say, because I'm just in awe on how this is going to end. Because I feel like this can get ugly really fast. But since last time we spoke, there are a little bit of updates. And there are a little bit of updates this morning. So, apparently, the Angels and the Giants have both checked in on Pete Alonso. How much are they interested remains to be seen. I am petrified of the Angels.
Really?
Because I feel like they're the team that would just throw money at him. It's like, whatever, take it. You know what I mean? Like, they seem just...
I'd be more the Giants train.
I don't know.
With the Padres, the Padres most likely at least trading one of Cease or Rise. I feel like I'd be more scared. Like, it's more of an opportunity for the Giants to kind of just jump in there. I don't know. I think I'd be more scared of them. Diamondbacks, they lost Jock Peterson. That's, 35 home runs they have to replace. They also lost Christian Walker. That's a lot. Like, the second spot in the West is a lot more open than it is in the AL West. And also the Giants have literally been throwing money at people saying, please, for the love of God, play for us.
Yeah, which is fair. But it's just like, it would just seem like such an Angels thing.
I get what you mean, though, about the Angels.
You know, right? It's just like, he's going to hold out, and the Angels are going to swoop in and sign him to this contract that nobody else would have signed him to, and then his career is going to be forgotten.
Did you see what... I was going to say, did you see what Bob Nightingale said?
I did. I was going to get to that.
I'll let you get to it.
So, since Justin brought it up, I forget the exact contract, but apparently...
14.
Thank you. Apparently, Scott Boras is using Prince Fielder's 9-year, $214 million contract as the comparison for Pete Alonso's contract. But let's look at this contract real quick, shall we?
Oh, God.
Prince Fielder was a free agent when he was 27. After his age 27th season. Pete Alonso is 30. Nobody, let me repeat, nobody is paying a first baseman 9 years when he's 30.
Wasn't Prince Fielder also a lot better?
I was going to get to that. Prince Fielder, up to this point, let's see, because with Milwaukee, he had a career 929 OPS, which is a 143 OPS plus. And then if we look at Pete Alonso, I said if we look at Pete Alonso, he currently has a career 854 OPS, the 134 OPS plus. So it's closer than you might think. But again, Prince Fielder was the better hitter, no matter which way you look at it.
When did he sign it? 2012? Going
He signed
into the
it
2012 season.
going into 2012.
In 2011, he came off a 4.5 WAR season where he was an All-Star Silver Slugger, finished third in MVP.
Right.
Hit 300, 415 on base, 566 slugging. So I think
Pete
that's...
Alonso did not.
Yeah. Yeah, 38 home runs. Say what you want about RBIs, but 120 RBIs. Walked more than he struck out.
Just two different hitters in two different eras. I understand, like, that's your job as an agent, but you're setting him up to fail. Nobody's going to give him anything close to this contract.
He's getting Snell and Montgomery. He's getting Montgomery and Snelled.
Yeah. No, I truly think that's where this is heading. And no, before the holidays, I thought maybe we were approaching the end. And I'm going to sneeze, so I'll be right back.
Achoo. Achoo. I'm doing like the thing, like the, what's it called? Those type of closed captions where they explain what's going on. When like people sneeze, they'll be like, oh, this character sneezed. This character opened the door. What I forget what those types of captions are.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But you asked me before the holidays, right? I think this is coming to an end. Pete Alonso is going to sign soon. This guy's not signing until fucking February. I truly don't know what he's doing. And I know most of it's probably Scott Boras. But I truly do not understand what's going on with Pete Alonso. But
And the thing is, too, with Prince Fielder, he only played 5 years of that contract. It was
it's also not a good comparison because he just completely collapsed after that.
The first year he had a 4.7 WAR, but then 2.2, negative 0.3, 2, negative 1.6.
Yeah. Like, it's probably not the comparison Scott Boras thinks it is. Let's bring out an inflation calculator.
To quote Mark, Scott Boras, what are you doing, pal?
What are you doing, buddy?
What are you doing, buddy? Bro, we're really pulling out inflation calculators on Triboro Podcast.
Absolutely.
Triboro Political Financial Podcast.
We'll say 2011.
That'd be what, like 280? 270?
I can't do millions. Right.
Just do like 217. I don't think you'll have to do millions. Because if it's the same rate, why would it matter if 217 is in millions or in...
I guess. For this really spotty inflation calculator, that's about $294.
Damn!
Today's money.
Prince
Fielder almost got a $300 million contract, which is not happening with Pete Alonso.
Yeah, he's getting 301.
Call it. Scott Boras is probably asking for like an 8-year, 280 deal for Pete Alonso, which is just absolutely not happening whatsoever. But
I also feel like the thing with them too is that if they're waiting, like Scott Boras is waiting too long to the point where it seems like something's gonna happen soon with Nolan Arenado.
Yeah,
something happens soon.
That's picking up steam.
That's picking up steam too. So if it looks like it's gonna be the Red Sox, if I had to like pick a team right now, that's a team that's in on Bregman and I think slightly on. I think they're more in on Alonso than people realize because of how much people have been talking about Tristan Casas maybe getting traded.
Well, if they get Arenado,
well, I'm saying if they trade Casas somewhere else, not in an Arenado move.
Right, but where's Pete gonna play?
That's what I'm saying. If they don't get Arenado, but they trade Casas.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, my fault.
That's what. Say that right now they trade Casas for I don't fucking know pitching or something like that.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. I was not following whatsoever. But
sorry, I should have made that more clear.
Yeah. That's obviously picking up. If Arenado gets traded, I'm sure Bregman then signs pretty soon, which then just leaves Pete Alonso once again.
Yeah.
But look, if the Red Sox are really like real on trading Casas, I'm all in. I don't understand why they would trade him.
Dude, I saw that and I'm like, yes, trade him for Arenado. Do it right now. Do it, Red Sox. It's a good move. Do it, Red Sox.
But I'd be all in on Tristan Casas. His 2024 was really weird. He got what was it, like a rib? Like
Something.
a rib injury.
He was
or
out
something.
for a while.
Yeah, he only had 243 plate appearances. But if we look at his 2023, where he was healthy, 92nd percentile expected weighted on base, 500 expected slugging, 77th percentile exit velocity, 86th in barrel, 80th in hard hit rate. He doesn't chase much. He whiffs and strikes out a decent chunk. And he takes his walks. And he's not a great defender, but neither was Pete. So whatever.
It's also first
And
base.
he's a lefty. Yeah, it's also first base. And he's a lefty, which I think this team could really use. Because we look at it now, I think it's Brandon Nimmo and Brett Beatty as of right now who are projected to be left-handed hitters.
Is McNeil
And
not
Soto.
projected to
Oh my
start?
god. Yeah, they're... Oh no, he is. Never mind. Alright. So you
Yeah,
got
so
Soto. Yeah. Soto, Nimmo, McNeil, and maybe Beatty.
So you have three minimum.
Beatty
And then Lindor, you have,
basically
you have
replace
four.
Casas. Right.
Honestly, you're not even that bad on lefties.
No, it is. It's because they need a lefty on the bench. That's what I'm thinking of. But regardless, the Red Sox wanted to trade Tristan Casas for whatever fucking reason. God, if I know, that would be really stupid.
The Red Sox
especially
make no
if
sense,
it's to
bro.
make room for. If they are trading Tristan Casas to make room for Nolan Arenado, oof, I would hate to be a Red Sox fan.
As stupid as that is, and I would hate it, I will say, Nolan Arenado at Fenway does scare me a little.
He probably would fit well.
That is, I think that may be the best fit for him. Out of
Yeah.
It would have been like the Astros and then the Red Sox for best fit.
Yeah, nah, that's true. Monster will be his best friend.
Yeah. But then again, like, there's been a lot of talk about them trying to dump Yoshida. Because they don't like him at DH. If they dump Yoshida, then they just put, like, Devers or Casas at DH.
Right, but ultimately, I don't think he gets traded. I think it's one of those things where it's like, he's out there, but they need to be blown away to really think about it. Yeah, Casas. That's kind of like my inkling towards it. But besides that, there's not really a lot of first basemen available. It's Yandy Diaz, who I don't think is technically available. Vlad Guerrero.
They said they weren't listening.
Right. Vlad Guerrero Jr., who I don't think is available, which he probably should be, but I don't think the Blue Jays are trading him.
You can't, as the Blue Jays. Losing out on this many free agents, I feel like you just can't.
Yeah. And then I think that's it. I mean, Lamont Wade Jr., the Giants, he's solid, but that's really it. The Mets don't have a ton of options either. Pete Alonso doesn't have a ton of options. So guess what?
I disagree. I think the Mets do have a couple of options.
They don't have a ton. Like, you know what I mean?
I think the Mets are in a much better spot than Alonso, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But, look, you call it Bregman's a replacement. He's probably not coming to the Mets. And then what else?
You'd say no, even if they miss out on... They miss out on Pete, you're saying Bregman's not happening?
I don't think so, personally. Yeah,
Here's
I don't
money.
know. Player. And
Player.
I don't think they're... Yeah, I don't really have like a good explanation for it. I don't think that they would sign into that contract, whatever he's looking for.
Because the last week I haven't really kept up with it or seen much, but I know before there was a lot of buzz about Bregman to the Mets. Especially even if they get Alonso, they may get him. Because who's the DH for the Mets right now?
Starling Marte. So they're probably going to use it as kind of like the revolving door.
Yeah. No, because I'm just thinking about it. Like, what if... Because are there still talks about them maybe wanting to get rid of his salary? Because
there hasn't been anything else saying no.
Okay.
It's been that one report, and that's been about it, so...
Okay. Because just the stuff that we saw, like, 2 weeks ago about them, like, not... Even if they did get Pete, they could still get Bregman, and then doing first and third that way, then Vientos DH.
I just don't see it.
You don't see
personally.
it?
That's a lot, and I don't think they want to clog up their payroll. You know, because then that's Lindor in a long-term contract, Soto, obviously, Nemo's still around here for a bit. Say you give Pete a 4-year deal, that's kind of like a mid-tier, and then what, Bregman's getting a 5-6?
I'm seeing that he's asking for 7 right now.
Absolutely not. No, thank you. I didn't even want Bregman to begin with. Especially for 7 years. I'm good. But, yeah, so I wish there were more updates on Alonso, but it's kind of more of the same. Just holding out.
Bregman also is attached with the qualifying offer.
Right, so that's another thing to think of. But, yeah, to kind of reiterate, the Mets are looking to more players than just Pete Alonso. They were in on Teoscar Hernandez before he signed with the Dodgers. They offered him a 2-year contract. The details weren't specified or reported, but the fact that they were just in on him, probably a year too late, shows that they're not just waiting around for Pete, you know, which is good. They can't. They're looking elsewhere for help because this offense, on paper, is solid, but I do think they need another bat. I mean, obviously, Lindor, Soto, Vientos, I think Nimmo bounces back. Hopefully, Alvarez takes a step forward. But again, you know, that's Alvarez, Marte, McNeil, call it Beatty as of right now, and then Jose Siri. You kind of really don't know what you're getting with. It could be good, it could be average, it could be awful. So they need one more bat.
3 guys that I am very confident in for the Mets lineup. And then a bunch of, like, bounce back, development type guys. Because I think you're very insanely confident in Lindor, Vientos, and I almost said Alonso, Soto. Everyone else, it's kind of like either bounce back, maybe they could, like, find it again, kind of like McNeil.
Right.
Like,
yeah, so exactly.
The Mets really do need another bat. Because you can't just go into a season with 3 guys.
Yeah, absolutely. You, like, for sure, like, you know what you're getting, Pete Alonso. It needs some power, Pete Alonso. Middle of the order bat, Pete Alonso. You know, like, a first baseman, Pete Alonso. But, I digress. But the fact that they're in on Hernandez, they're not just waiting around. They're probably still talking to a bunch of other free agents, maybe even talking up some trades. But I do like Teoscar. I would have been really shocked if they signed him, and I would have really liked to see how they were going to put him in the lineup. Maybe DH, or maybe just, like, revolve the door. You know, like, Soto, Teoscar, Nimmo, DH / outfield. Just keep revolving them.
I feel like if you get Teoscar, like Starling Marte, get ready to learn Miami Marlin.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, if they got Teoscar, I think Starling Marte was more than gone. But, again, the fact that they're in on Hernandez probably shows that they're not going into the year with Marte as, like, a for sure, this is going to be, like, one of our guys.
Yeah.
But, yesterday, I believe, Jeff Passan put out an article, just, you know, kind of like an off-season update type of thing. The Mets currently are looking at outfielders, starters, and relievers. Relievers make sense. Outfielders, I guess, make sense. I mean, they have Nimmo, Soto, Tyler Taylor, and Jose Siri as of right now on the 26-man roster. So unless it's kind of like a utility type of thing, not sure why they would need another outfielder. I'm surprised by another starter. I'm assuming depth. I don't think it would be anything big. And relievers are obvious. They haven't signed a major league reliever. They have signed a bunch of minor league deals, split contracts, that type of thing. So, but case in point, the Mets are not done. But the last thing I want to finish on is to quickly touch on Corbin Burns going to the Diamondbacks, which is just, that came out of nowhere. But I don't care about that. I do care about the Mets. I would have been okay if the Mets signed him to a similar contract as that one, I will say, as a Corbin Burns non-enthusiast. I wouldn't have minded that contract whatsoever, especially if he opted out. Hello?
Talk now. Yeah.
Especially if he opted out after the 2 years. But, oh well.
My only thing is I think the Mets would have had to have paid a lot more money. Just because you saw it was the Blue Jays and Giants that had higher offers?
I believe so.
Yeah, they both had higher offers, and the reason why Corbin Burns took less money is because of the tax rates. So, Burns got what, $218?
Yes.
They probably would have had to give him like $240, $250
right,
to offset the taxes.
No, you're right. And it's funny, because I was talking to this with my dad. You know, he's from Arizona, or he has a family in Arizona. Why was it never reported that the Diamondbacks could be a possible landing spot?
Yeah,
I feel like that's such a huge oversight.
Yeah.
I never saw a single thing about Arizona and Corbin Burns until it happened. And then it's kind of like, oh, you know, he has family in Arizona. He lives in Arizona. I'm like, so it makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
And nobody reported it. Whatever.
I'm pretty sure the Orioles and Brewers both also had spring training in Arizona.
That probably sounds right.
I believe so. I could be wrong on the Orioles, but that could also be another thing too of like he was literally in Arizona for spring training.
Yeah, it doesn't need to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring up Corbin Burns, sorry Mike, is okay. Obviously, Jordan Montgomery, probably gonna be traded. Like 90% going to be traded.
The GM literally hates him.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
GM or the owner that just like hates.
I think it's the owner, which is even worse. But I bring this up because does this possibly allow Zach Gallen to be moved?
I was thinking the same thing.
He's a one-year contract. He's a free agent after this year. Like, does it make a ton of sense to do it?
No.
Maybe not. But I feel like you can get pretty good back for him. The rotation is pretty solid besides that. What'd you say?
You're trading an ace.
No, I know. That's the only one.
You're going to get a lot for him.
Yeah, that's the only thing. It probably doesn't make a ton of sense for the Diamondbacks. But I'm sure if they get an offer they like, they wouldn't say no. He's only 29. He's going to be 20. I mean, he's going to be 30.
He's going to be 28?
That's what yours were? He's only 29. He's going to be 28 in August. He's going to be 30 in August. But basically what I'm getting at is Zach Allen available, and then are some of the back-end guys, Brandon Pfaadt and Ryan Nelson. Are those guys available? If Ryan Nelson or Brandon Pfaadt are available, which I don't think they are, I really wish they were, the Mets should be all over the two of them. Brandon Pfaadt has been like one of my favorite pitchers to watch, and he's been like a fantasy darling for me, but he can never just put it together. But in 2023, he made his Major League debut. He started 19 games. He had a 5.72 ERA, not great, but a 4.48 expected ERA, a 5.18 FIP, better. 2024, 32 starts, 181 innings, a 4.71 ERA, a 3.75 expected ERA, 3.61 FIP. Get this guy out of Arizona. Give him some better defense. Let him develop because he's only 25. I think you got a really good start on your hands.
And you also got to realize the division he's pitching in.
That too.
You got the Dodgers, you got the Giants who have a good lineup. You have the Padres who has a couple of really good hitters. And then, say what you want about Colorado being ass, you play at Coors Field, you're going to get hit. That's just how it is. You pitch at Coors Field, especially when you don't normally pitch there, you're going to get hit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Brandon Pfaadt, if he's available, I want the Mets to be all over him. Ryan Nelson's also a solid starter. He kind of changed his approach halfway through when the Diamondbacks were dealing with a ton of injuries. He had some success there. Did I prepare the notes for that? No, I did not. But trust me, trust me, he had a really good end to the season. And I also wouldn't mind Jordan Montgomery. I mean, it's whatever, you know. But again, the rotation as it stands right now, it doesn't seem like it's likely to fit in any other starter not named Roki Sasaki. I think that's kind of where we're heading. David Stearns mentioned a few months ago that they are going into things with Sasaki being a luxury, so they're not going through the offseason expecting him or kind of planning for him to be in the rotation. If he decides to sign with them, then they'll make it work. But as of right now, they're going to look elsewhere, expecting him to go not to the Mets. So, that being said, not a ton going on in the offseason world. This is kind of the dead spot of things. Obviously, we're still on Pete Alonso watch, but the Mets have finished out the rotation. You know, it's January. Pitchers and catchers report in 3 weeks.
About that.
In a month, something like that. So.
By the way, I can't believe we forgot to mention this. Happy Mets birthday, Francisco Lindor.
Oh my God, you're so right. Happy Mets birthday to Francisco Lindor.
This was the day they traded for him. For those that don't.
Yeah, what a trade. What a trade. I don't want to say they fleeced the Guardians. I really don't. It's starting to look that way.
They got 2 really good years from Jimenez. Or is it even just one?
Yeah. They got a really good year from Jimenez, and then I think a few good ones. 2, 3 good ones. Rosario. And the 2 prospects they got back, I don't think have had all that much success, which sucks, obviously, for them. But this is the prime example on when a star player is available for trade. Prospects do not matter. For the most part. There's some exceptions.
Andrew McCutcheon for Brian Reynolds.
Right. You don't know what they're going to turn into. And they could also be really good with you, go to another player development, and completely suck. That's just how prospects work. That's why proven Major League talent will always win.
Caleb Durbin. Right. I've never been sold on Caleb Durbin. They somehow got fucking Devin Williams for him.
Exactly. So
GMs also hype the hell out of their prospects too. That's
absolutely.
That's part of it, is that you hype them up, you talk about how important they are to your future, because then it's going to give you more leverage in trade talks. Maybe not much,
absolutely,
but that little bit can be the difference between trading for a Francisco Lindor or not.
Absolutely. So, happy Mets birthday to Francisco Lindor. Thank you, my king. You have done miracles on me. But yeah, that's about all I got. Again, there's not much going on. A lot of just reporting. This was the catch-up episode. So here we are catching up. I hope you're caught up. I'm caught up. Justin, you caught up?
I'm caught up.
I'm caught up. So I think we did our job. But Justin, you got anything else before we kind of just hand this off to nobody? I don't know what we're handing it off to.
I would be absolutely shocked if the Mets go into the season without one of Bregman or Alonso.
I would as well.
I think that if they miss out on Alonso, I think they panic and overpay Bregman.
If Bregman's not signed before him.
Yeah. Well, obviously, yeah.
Yes. I think that's the way things are trending. Trending. But we'll see. It could be this week. It could be in an hour after this is done.
It's gonna be in an hour.
It's 100% will be an hour after it's done. But that's all I got, Justin. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Again, happy New Year. New Year. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. As always, remember to subscribe, like, leave us a rating. A bunch of you guys who watch are not subscribed. 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
And don't forget to hit that bell icon.
Hit the red button. Hit the red button.
Do it. Do
it now.
You're no longer asking.
But follow all of our social media accounts. You can see them on the overlay or at Triboro Podcast, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review. Follow us there. But yeah, thank you guys again, and we'll see you whenever something happens.